Hi there. Today we're going to discuss solve one-step addition and subtraction equations, and we're going to use that using models. So what we're going to do is we're going to use algebra tiles. And just so you get an idea of algebra tiles, um, we use a long bar for x, and then we can use positive chips and negative chips for our integers. So when you're dealing with an integer mat, there's an equal sign in the middle, and there is a mat on or space on the left and a space on the right, and they're equivalent. So if we're going to do x minus 3, if we're going to model x minus 3, we know that there's going to be an x bar, and there's going to be 3 negative chips. Okay? And on the right, there's going to be negative 2. Okay? Now our goal is to get x by itself. Um, so when we're looking at the x here, we see that x is on the same side as 3 negatives. So how we want to get rid of having 3 negatives is we want to add 0 pairs to it so that they cancel out. Now in an equation, Matt, we have to make sure that whatever we do to the left, we also have to do to the right. So if I'm going to add 3 positive chips to the left, I have to add 3 positive chips to the right. So now we can take a look at this and see that these 0 pairs cancel out, and these 0 pairs cancel out. So you're left with just x on this left side, and whatever we have on the right is the remaining chips. So we're left with positive 1. So x is supposed to equal 1. And just to check, we would say 1 minus 3. Does that equal negative 2? Well, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, and negative 2 does equal negative 2. So our answer is correct. All right, so let's do our next one. X plus 4 equals 4. So we're going to want to start modeling. So we have an x, which is our long bar with an x. We have 4 positive chips, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we also have 4 positive chips on the right. Now, we want the x by ourselves, so we have 4 positive chips. And how do we get rid of our 4 positive chips? We're going to pair it with 4 negative chips. And again, if whatever we do to the left, we're also going to do to the right. So we're going to put 4 negative chips on the right. Now, we have these 0 pairs that cancel out, and we have these 0 pairs to cancel out. So what are we left with? X equaling 0. So just to make sure, we have to make sure that we check our answers. So we have 0 plus 4. Does that equal 4? Well, 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 equals 4, so that's true. So x equals 0. Here's our next one. Negative 2 equals x plus 1. So we have a negative 2 on the left. On the right, we have an x, and then we have a positive 1. Okay? Now again, we want to make sure that we take everything away from the side with the x. So we have a positive 1 here. So how do we get rid of a positive 1? We're going to put a negative 1 with it. So we're going to put a negative 1 here. These 0 pairs disappear. And over on the left, there are no 0 pairs. So we're left with, on the left, negative 3 equaling x. So again, we're going to check our answers. So negative 2 equals, x we said was negative 3 plus 1. So negative 2 is on the left. On the right, we have negative 3 plus 1, and that equals negative 2. So our answer is correct. Here's our next example. X minus 1 equals negative 3. We have our x. We have a negative 1. And on the right side, we have negative 3. Okay, now we want to get rid of this negative 1 that is on the same side as the x. So we're going to add a 0 pair to get rid of it. If we do it to the left, also have to do it to the right. So here, these cancel out. This one also cancels out. And now we're left with x equaling negative 2. So again, just to be sure, we have to check. So negative 2 minus 1, does that equal negative 3? Well, negative 2 minus 1 is the same thing as saying negative 2 plus negative 1. That equals negative 3. And on the right side, it equals negative 3. So our answer is correct. So our answer is x equals negative 2. Here's our last example. We have 4 on the left side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. On the right side, we have x. And then we have negative 2. Okay? Again, take a look at the side with your x. You want to get rid of the negative 2. How do we do that? We're going to add 2 to make 0 pairs. If we do it to the right, we also have to do that to the left. Okay, so now we have our 0 pairs that go away. So x is supposed to equal 6. Again, last step always, check. So 4, does that equal 6 minus 2? On the left we have 4. 6 minus 2, we also have 4. So that is our correct answer. Hope that video was helpful. Thank you. Bye.